Hello guys, how are you doing tonight? Welcome back to Meet Your Fellow Creators live stream. Today we have special guest, a man. Oh, interesting. Technical difficulties again.
Stand by.
Of course. All right, sorry about that. So welcome back to Meet Your Fellow Creators. Another episode. So we have special guest, a man who prefers to stay behind the scenes and sometimes and not to show up too much on the videos, but with his voice he adds very dramatic effect to the video production that they're doing, and that voice cannot be mistaken with any other voice. And that man was even called once by Alan Outdoors. He's a Steven Spielberg of YouTube. That is Jim, and a young man who actually had this whole big idea going on the internet, on the YouTube, and create this successful channel that we see today. And that is Garrett. Please welcome our guest, Gmoneystrong Outdoor team. How you doing today, guys?
Good, good. Thanks for the you're making me nervous and blush with your intro. I figured you'd go over the top with that.
All right. So, I mean, you started your channel, what, less than a year ago?
Yeah, if you look at our join date is June 25th.
So it's not even 1 year, and you guys
No.
already at 1,800 subscribers. I mean, of course,
Yeah.
we're gonna talk about that. How you got that fast?
Tips of the trade, huh?
All right. So, and with the channel, I mean, the channel name itself. It's like when I first time saw it, it's like, okay, Gmoneystrong Outdoors. Okay, I understand, but Gmoneystrong, what does this mean? I mean, Gmoneystrong, is this some wannabe gangster, or it's somebody slapping with the money somebody's in the face, or maybe it's a pimp name? Because that's what come up on Wikipedia. or so you guys, can you either, I mean, I'll let you decide, who will answer that question. What actually made you to come up with that name? I mean, I'm just curious myself. I mean, and I guess, the
So
guys in the audience as well.
one of my the one of my baseball friends' dad started calling me G Money, and like then when I had my accident, everyone started. I don't know if they came up with it or
Yeah,
someone
there's a
did.
bit of audio breaking
Really?
up. So if you could speak up a little bit, that should help, please.
So I don't know if mom came up with it or
So I
It's
guess
like,
that name, that name was in a rotation before this whole thing YouTube
yeah,
channel
yeah,
started. So it was already kind of pre-made, and followed.
yeah. If you're local, you know Gmoneystrong. You'll see people with Gmoneystrong bumper stickers on their cars and stuff. It was something that started, like Garrett said, after his accident, and it was like to rally around. A lot of local sports teams were taking pictures with that hashtag, and some professional athletes got involved and stuff like that, and it was all hashtag Gmoneystrong. So, you know, when we started the channel, it's like, well, we already have the name out there, you know, why not work with what we already have going? So we just took that and added outdoors because that's what we focus on.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I mean, that this whole story, of course, with Garrett, you know, tragic and all. So I mean, you sent me a few pictures. I asked you, so I just would like to show it to people. You know what Garrett went through, kind of. So I'm just putting this a little bit of a slideshow here. So yeah, that's a tragic incident. I mean, it's good that everything turned out the way it is. So
Crazy to see how much you've grown since then, huh? Look like a little kid.
I probably grew like, but out.
Yeah,
Oh.
I mean, that was.
But like I went 4'5", 5 foot.
He needs to tell you how tall he is. He's proud of it. 5'1".
well, yeah. I mean, it's at some point you have to grow. So yeah, and you've been growing, and you guys been going together. You know, pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, we get into everything we can.
So and yeah, I just wanted to show a little slideshow here of you guys going hunting, fishing, do things together.
Ah, there's the Pig Patrol picture. Shout out Pig Patrol. I'll tell Josh that it was featured. He'll be happy.
That's when we had set out about
1,000 decoys. God, that was a big day.
I don't know when that
That was the
wasn't that.
triple threat.
And yeah, that's when you caught yours. And
Yeah, you took the picture. You were the cameraman that time. See, sometimes he's the cameraman.
yeah, but then I went over to other pond behind our house, and I called.
Yeah, he caught almost a 4-pounder that day. That was just like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. That was
So yeah, those are beautiful shots. Yeah.
So remember, this is 15 seconds behind. We're seeing what they're seeing. Oh, Willard.
So and of course, when you guys start going hunting, and so there are a few things I wanted to show. This is Garrett's first buck with the bow. So this one goes with the even with the sound. So I let the audience watch this. I mean,
Right. That was a fun video.
Oh my god.
yeah.
That was,
But then I shot like almost every.
Oh my god.
oh yeah, that was when we were learning how to do this. Look at the shaky camera.
well, yeah, and when I look at the videos, you know, I try to make it short, and it was in 480p. But looks like on that video you were more happy than Garrett. You've been jumping up and down.
Could not believe we pulled that off. That was just wild.
And I had to do
this
my
man
math
right
homework
here.
that day.
We were doing homework in the blind.
I'm so
Yeah,
proud of you, but
we call that buck homework because we were doing math homework right before we
Hi,
shot it.
Mom. Me and Jim were hunting, and I killed a buck.
You did?
Yes.
My voice sounds so
It
different
looked like
from that.
a good
I
6
know.
Well,
pounds.
yeah, you was younger. You were younger, of course.
Back when he was a kid, now he's a full-grown man, you know.
Here he
Yeah,
is.
those were emotions, Garrett. What was coming through your head when you shot that buck? That was your first one.
I was like, oh crap. Because, like, I didn't think I'd hit him. It's like I had it right, I aimed a little low. Because, I didn't think, because, like, I thought it'd go a little high, but not much high. But the deer was closer than 20 yards, apparently. So it hit him in the spine, and then he dropped. I was like, oh crap, I shot my first buck.
That was wild.
Well, and there is another one.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, there is one when Garrett shot his first turkey
Oh, yeah.
Same farm
With the-
too.
with the
Farm.
mother load, blah, 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 blah. Muzzle loader.
I know it's shotgun.
That was shotgun, right? All right.
So, like, that turkey was a funky one. So, we're sitting in the blind, and we're hearing a bunch of calls from across the road, and calls from, like, everywhere. And then we hear this one call that sounded like the call came from the same bird, but he was just across the road, and he came on our side of on our field, and, like, then he started calling like crazy, because he was a, what?
He was a big Jake. So it wasn't a fully mature Tom, which probably worked in our advantage because he was really
Was that crazy or what?
receptive to the call and the decoy. But that bird, before he came out on the field, he was no more than
You
5
smoked
yards
him, dude.
behind
You
the blind.
smoked him. You
I mean, I could
smoked
see him out a crack in the blind, and we could hear him spitting and breathing. He was right there. It was pretty cool.
And there's the victory dance or a chicken dance. I guess it's a victory dance. Victory
Well,
chicken dance.
reenactment the turkey did. Yeah, he had to go through the whole thing. Talk about how the turkey came out. There it is.
Yeah, I had to call that I'd shoot him, and then he'd do a backflip.
And he did the backflip. Yep.
Yeah, those were the times, huh?
Uh-huh.
This was the time when we just got,
Yeah, that was early on for us.
yeah, that was our first year.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's still your first year on YouTube. Those are first videos, right? But that was interesting because you saw now you're all growing up, but looking back, when you were there, doing that for the first time, I mean, that's priceless.
Yeah, yeah. And at the time, we were filming all this stuff, and we didn't even know how to start a YouTube channel or even edit all these films. So we just had all this stuff sitting on SD cards for months before we actually got the channel up and running. And I started editing all that stuff this fall and added those videos. So for the longest time, we're shooting all this stuff. Like, great, we have all this recorded. Now what do we do with it?
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that was interesting. That was interesting. Thank you, Garrett, for your point of view and your perspective on the things.
Anything else for him? It's about time to start getting ready for bed.
Well, I don't have anything unless somebody in the audience will have some kind of questions.
How much you want to bet that after I go to bed, someone will come and say, "Oh yeah," something.
Yeah, that the audio was a little bit flaky there. So, but
Yeah.
well,
All right.
all right. I mean, I don't see any other questions from the audience
Okay.
to Garrett. So, You guys will decide what you want to do. If he's bedtime, then no.
Yeah, I'll take over. I'll go on the headphones. Right. I'll be in a bit. Night, sir. All right.
Good night, Garrett. Good night. All right.
Let me see. Didn't connect. Not work. Go figure.
Ah, they're probably turned off. Nope, not yet. There's no audio yet. Nope, no audio. Nope, still don't hear you. Something, yeah,
You
it's
don't-
still. Oh, okay, okay, go ahead.
You got it?
Okay, now I got you.
Yeah, left.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Yeah, I had this thing balanced on my tripod here, so. There we go.
All right, so we got that. All right, and we already have first question from the audience.
All right.
Darren's Northern Live wants to know, what do you do for a living outside of the YouTube world?
Oh yeah, the side job.
Yeah, the side job, because now
Right.
now you have to concentrate 100% on YouTube.
Yes. I'm a certified crop advisor. I run a consulting business for farmers around the Delmarva area. So this time of year, we're writing nutrient management plans, figuring out what everybody's going to grow, and writing fertilizer recommendations for the year. During the cropping season, we're in the field making recommendations, telling them what to do. So it's great because I'm not tied to a desk. I'm out in the field all day on a lot of hunting property. So I don't complain about that. A lot of freedom.
So you have agricultural background? Wow.
Honestly, my background was engineering.
Uh-huh.
I fell into agriculture when the housing bubble crashed in 2008, and I was left looking for a job, and my friend's dad had this company and said, "Come work for me." So I learned agriculture on the fly, and now it's 10 years later, and I own the business. So I like it.
Yeah, I mean, you can change. Yeah, I mean, I went through this, especially going from another country, and from the thing that I've done over there. When I came here, I couldn't find anything like that here. So yeah, that was my career change. coming from mechanical job to a computer job.
Roll with the punches.
Yeah. All right. So, and talking about your relationship and your story, I thought the audience will be interesting to hear your life story and Garrett's story, kind of thing, in more details. Just didn't, yeah, we just left it for the adults to.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you just tell it kind of, how this whole thing started? And I mean, we can see what's going on now, but it would be interesting to see, how it all started.
Yeah, I mean, I met Garrett as his baseball coach 3 years ago. At the time, his dad was still with us. It was prior to his accident and everything. And I was like the pitching and catching coach, and Garrett was like our star pitcher. So he and I spent a lot of time together back then, and got to know each other. And we were on the field together all the time. So he was like my favorite player that year. But at that time we were just a coach and a baseball player. He was 9 years old, and that fall is when Kirk passed, and then in the spring is when he had his accident, and I don't even know how to tell you why, but I just felt like I had to get involved at that point. I mean, I came up that week. I was in the hospital, and I didn't know Wendy at the time, and I met her standing over Garrett's hospital bed um, while he was in a coma, and it's maybe the following year I was helping to coach baseball again, and I talked to Garrett's uncle about would he want to come out to the field. He was really avoiding baseball at the time because he couldn't play. Would he want to come out if I would catch with him and take him off to the side? She said, yeah, he would come. And so he started coming to baseball games. We would just go off on our own and play, and it just snowballed. Garrett and I were hanging out all the time, and before you know it, Wendy and I were hanging out all the time. And now, fast forward, we are married.
Yeah. Well, happy ending, you can say, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's nothing any of us saw coming, but we're here now, and couldn't be happier with the current situation. It's certainly a twisted road, but here we are.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, yeah, and your relationship with Garrett, I mean, you can see it's full trust, and I mean, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool because in many situations, I've seen that doesn't go well. It doesn't get to that level of trust, and you know, yeah. So that's cool.
We're the same stuff. It really helps that we're kindred spirits when it comes to hunting and fishing and everything. We're always on the same page. We always want to be into all these activities together. So yeah, we go with it. We're best buds.
All right. So, but now you have to share with me and our audience here your success on YouTube and how you do it. I mean, when I met you when you actually reach out. I just start posting videos in October.
Uh-huh.
And I got on the last week of Bass Open tournament. So at that time, you had 800 subscribers or close to that, something like that. Now 5 months later, you're at 1800. You have to share this. You have to share this. I mean, I want to follow that. I want to be like that too.
I'll be honest with you. For us, the first thing has been content. I don't want to just, go out there and beg for subscribers and have nothing to keep them there. My main goal from day one has been, I want videos I want to go back and watch. We're making this for ourselves as much as anybody. I know we've done well when I come to Garrett's room at night to put him to bed and he's sitting there watching our videos. I'm like, well, yeah, we've got this forever now. So making good content, and every time I make a video, I'll watch it over and over and over again and say, okay, what can I do better next time? So, okay, the lighting was off, I was out of focus there. I need to get the audio corrected, and then we'll just tweak it on the next and try to keep making the videos better. So that's the main driving force. And I'm a little obsessive. So, I'll never say, yes, this is it. This is the way I want it. There's always something to play with.
Oh yeah, there's always gonna be, I could have done something better. So there's always, it doesn't matter how well it's done, and I mean that's definitely. But still, to have good videos and good content. I mean, of course, eventually it will catch up. But just to start, kind of, if you're not exposed because you're kind of little man, and you know what YouTube does. YouTube, looking at the views, at your likes, how many of those you have, especially the views. I mean, that's the number one criteria for them. And when you're starting, of course, you're not gonna get this many views, but you need to get yourself out there. So, and you've been doing that. And I was actually thinking, what is it that you're doing that you're actually getting yourself out there?
Honestly, apart from focusing on the content and creating the videos that are going to keep people in, is that we want to be engaged with other creators. And that's not just like you click on a video and say, hey, love your video, come check out mine, or great video, without having watched it. I will sit there and bring up people's videos and watch it and comment on stuff that I'm seeing and liking and giving them actual feedback. And people latch on to that when you're actually engaging with them and viewing their content. Because we're all making this stuff because we want to share it with people. So to let people know that you're actually watching their stuff, it gets them to want to engage back and forth with you, and they'll watch your video. So right from the start that I decided I'm not going to be, one of these channels that's out there saying, come watch our stuff, and we're not giving anything back. It's all about community. And I feel like we've made tons of friends through YouTube. I mean, there's people that we talk to almost every day now, through live streams or just videos, and keeping in touch with each other. And it's really cool. Made the world a smaller place, it seems like.
Well, yeah, I mean that's how I end up in this mess, because you found me.
Yeah, exactly.
You found me. I mean, I was posting some videos and I said, okay, those videos, I'll post fishing just to have it, because like even my father, for example, he's in St. Petersburg in Russia, and we're just exchanging emails, and he said, so what's happening over there? I said, well, I just start fishing this past year. He said, oh, I wanted to see even just a little bit what you catch in there. And then I said, well, there you go, here's the channel. So now he has all the information that he needs. But yeah, I mean, that was the pretty much deal. But then when you found me and you dragged me into that bass fall bass open, I mean, but that makes it interesting. And I guess that's another thing. I mean, I know that you had prior to that kind of trial run with probably 10 to 12 different channels, kind of to test the waters and see how it goes. But how that idea just crossed your mind? I mean, I'm just curious, where it come from.
Well, as I was trying to find like ways that channels were growing and trying to attract viewers, you always see people say, hey, I'm gonna have a giveaway, we're gonna do a giveaway. And that's great, but I don't think it creates what I wanted, which was like a back and forth dynamic, creating the community. So I said, how can I create something that people are going to want to come back because they're involved in it? So I said, I want to create something where we're sharing videos together and everybody wants to come watch this because they're a part of it. So I was like, let's do something where we feature videos from other channels, and we're like compiling all these video clips and make a tournament out of it. So like you said, we tried it with like 10 channels, it ended up being 12. There's only like 5 or 6 that were really actively engaged. And honestly, that's how we met some guys that we talk to almost every day now. That was Allen Outdoors was in that first go around. Who else came in?
Yeah, Peacock Pit, Too Fat to Hunt.
They were the Fall Bass Open the second time through. But like
the second time?
Run, that was Justin too. Weekend Warriors Outdoors. He took place in that. So it's like we met these guys through that, and that's how we started talking back and forth, and we've stayed in touch ever since. And yeah, and here I see in the comments over here, Darren is saying, I found him, and I was one of the first people to comment on his videos. Yeah, I would search out stuff that was relevant to what we were doing, and just watch people's videos and give them actual comments about it, and we'd make great friendships. Darren and I are talking about planning a trip together.
So where are we gonna go?
Hey, we'll find out about that later. We'll get there.
All right, you see, I call you on my show, so you have to take me with you. Next time you go somewhere. I'll
message you later then.
All right, I'm if I can go far and for long, you know, if my wife will let me. But
there we go.
yeah, but I mean, we can come up with something anyway. So yeah, so and then then the next big idea came to also kind of cooked up between three of you, Yankee Crank, Jack Fishing, and you, for this Yankee Crank around the world thing.
Yeah,
Which took off pretty much. I mean, it was well received.
Yeah, same concept where it was just like I wanted to build on that idea of how can we get channels working together on a common project where we each want to take ownership of this thing and share it to, you know, we can cross between each other's subscribers and expose people's videos to, you know, each other's channels and subscribers that we may not exactly cross over on. And so we started the Yankee Crank around the world. And it's funny because I started talking to Chris about it. He and I had just done something where I had started watching his videos, and he painted a zombie bait. And I watched his video and said, I want to use that thing. So I talked to him and I said, can I buy that off you? And he said, yes. And I said, I'm going to shoot a video using that thing. And so we did that, and it went great. You know, people loved it, and Chris was just to the moon excited to have his stuff featured. So after that, you know, I started talking to him more and more about how can we do more of this. And oddly enough, Hugh at Jag Fishing was having the same conversation with him about trying to do some kind of worldwide lure exchange. So I pitched the idea to Chris, and he's like, you know, we're talking about doing the same thing. So the three of us put our heads together and came up with the idea that we would, and you know, that we just brainstormed back and forth to figure out the structure of it. But you know, Chris creates the custom baits. We send them to a channel. We try to film what we can catch on it, record it, send them on to the next guy, and see how far we can go with it. And as we speak, it is in Johannesburg, South Africa. Hopefully, Bearded Bass Bros will be filming soon. I've heard horror stories about the South African airports. It's been almost 2 weeks now since it left Australia. But, you know, it's going from there to Spain. It's going to the Spro Team Bass next. It's going to the UK after that. Then it comes all over the state. It's going to Peacock Pete in Florida. It's going to Tightlines Tina in California, Nathan at Big Bear in North Carolina, before it goes back up to Jag. He's going to do a giveaway after all that. So it's just cool, you know, to watch a video. You know, Rowan did his video, RKJ Fishing, a couple weeks ago. And I'm like, I'm watching the bait that I had tied onto my rod, catching fish in Australia now. It's just such a cool thing. So we're excited about it.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we've all been excited. And the thing is, you know, I mean, I still have question about how this whole thing works. And, you know, I think maybe other people do as well, because this giveaway. So, I mean, it's not going to be giveaway of those three beat up lures that went through hell around the world, right? So, I mean, I know, you know, people will be contributing to that kind of. So I did my contribution. So I added a lure there. So, and you added that there. So, and in Australia, it pretty much ended up catching cod and everything. So it looks like it's gonna stay there. That whopper plopper.
Yeah, that's what he kicked out of that. Yep.
So, but how is this actually works? I mean, what's gonna be at the end when the Jag will get that last package? What's gonna be in there? What is the actual rules for contributing to the package, so that package will become a giveaway?
Well, that actually, the concept for that part of it, it's just like I wanted to add something to what we're doing with the lure exchange. And I was involved in something that Tightlines Tina started up. You know, she's got a YouTube channel, doesn't do much on YouTube. She's more present on Instagram, same name, Tightlines Tina. But she organized that lure exchange that I was involved in right before Christmas through her channel and I think 5 or 6 others. So the idea was that you started with a package of lures that got sent to one person, and then that person would take what they wanted from it and then add what they wanted to it and then pass it on to the next person, like a chainmail thing, till it came back around to Tina, and then she would draw for a giveaway for whatever was in the box at that point.
But if somebody would take one out and put one in, you pretty much end up with the same
You would think
amount, or you take one and put two in.
that's what we've seen more often, is that people are taking this as something to add to more than take away from.
Right.
So everyone that it went to was adding fivefold, sixfold what they were taking out of it. You know, when it came to us, I took 2 underspins out of the package and a live target shad topwater bait, and then we added 10 things.
Okay.
So
there is no limit to that.
and that's what we've said, and the instructions are in the Yankee crank thing that we're doing. So everybody, when they get the package, there's a bunch of other stuff in it. We're not showing all that stuff in the videos until it gets back to Jag and he pulls for the giveaway. But everyone, as they get it, they take something from it and they add something they want to share with the group. It's a neat concept because we're seeing stuff come in from all around the world now. You know, like a Rowan at RKJ, he added like some Australian baits that aren't available to us around here. So we're going to see some cool stuff come in that way. Just a neat way to share some stuff that works for different people. And if you're sponsored, you know, you can get some sponsored material out there. I know the Spro Team Bass guys are going to go nuts with that, getting their merch out there. But
yeah, the RKJ, I saw what he fishing in there. I mean, the top water for cod, it's like that big thing, like, I don't know, butterfly with ears or whatever it is there, and it just plopping on top of the on top of the pond. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if we can catch bass or anything here with that. But that's the whole thing. That's interesting part. You know, you can take that lure and throw it here and see what you can get on it.
Yep. Yeah, just a neat way to get exposed to new stuff. You know, something that works for someone in Spain, and you know, all of a sudden a fisherman in North Carolina gets a chance to see it and try it. So, you know, just thought it'd be a cool enticement for the people that are taking place in the lure exchange and try some new stuff.
Yeah, that's a cool, neat operation going on, an idea. Yeah, I mean, I really want to see what's gonna be at the end. So
Yeah.
and then the giveaway will be, who will be eligible for giveaway? Anybody? Or I mean, I know of course people have to be subscribed to all channels that they went through around the world, but so it could be anybody.
Yeah, that was going to be. We keep meaning to say more about it, but when it gets back to Jag, he's going to say the specifics about it. But basically, we're going to have 10 videos up for the Yankee Crank around the world at that point. You know, starting with your video, my video, and where it goes next. And he's going to use a wheel from 1 to 10 to pick which one of those videos we're going to run a random comment generator on to pick somebody that's commented on one of those videos to be the winner. So basically, if people are watching all the videos and they're engaging and commenting on it, they have a chance to win the giveaway at the end. So it's just a way to kind of make sure everybody's keeping track of it, everywhere it's going, and watching all the different videos.
Oh yeah, I mean, that makes sense. And yes, Peacock Pete, I could be the winner too because I commented and I actually participated in it. So yeah, our people in the chat mingling, I mean, they have a good time. I don't see any questions. I don't know if any questions were addressed to your name, because I don't see anything highlighted for me except that Peacock comment, Pete's comment.
Yeah, I'm trying to go back and forth here with talking to you and trying to read all this stuff as much as I can do to keep up with.
Well, yeah, and I have to mess with the OBS as well while I'm doing all this stuff too.
Plus, your parrot in the background is keeping us entertained too.
Oh, so you hear them? I mean, he's loud.
Enough. I hear it now and then.
Oh yeah, he's sitting all the way in the other room, but yeah, he's pitching voice. I mean, you can hear it throughout the house.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, Adrian, True North Angler, is saying he'd love to use those Yankee crank lures for salmon. And what we wanted to mention too is since we started this thing, we've gotten so many people that have come in and said, I want to get involved, I want to get involved. And the idea is not that it's just going to stop when it gets back to the JAG and we do the giveaway. At that point, as long as we keep the lures from getting lost and they keep going around, we'll keep it going. You know, I've already talked to some different channels in different places around the world that might be involved in the next go around. You know, so anybody that, you know, is interested in it, you know, stay up with us, talk to myself, talk to Chris, talk to you, and maybe we can arrange the next world tour.
Yeah, and Darren's Northern Life, he's asking if you ever consider to come up to Canada to go waterfall and hunting and fishing there.
Yes.
Well, for that you have to actually do the vacation, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it's not gonna happen in 1 day or 2 days. I mean, you have to get at least a week. Because if hunting and fishing and that may take 2 weeks.
Yeah, I've got friends that have taken waterfowl trips to Canada, and I've already entertained the idea that yeah, we got to do that one this time. But you know, Garrett and I, basically at this point, we're planning, you know, doing like one big trip a year. And right now, you know, last year we went to Illinois, and we're planning on going back to Illinois this year. It's not set in stone yet, but we have some unfinished business there. You know, but before we start branching out and going after different species, we need to make sure that we get him the kind of caliber whitetail buck that I think he deserves at this point for his patience. So that's our first priority, and then we're going to start looking at going on some other hunting trips. And Darren, Canada is on the list, I promise.
Yeah, I mean it's not that easy. I mean, you have to plan the whole thing to go out like that. I mean, and of course the family and everything. It's like if I'll tell my wife, you know what, I'm gonna go fishing for a weekend, and I'm not just going here, I'm going somewhere else. The first question is, what about me? But she's not into it, so yeah, that's a bit difficult. But yeah, I mean, I've been asked already to do some shorter trips. I mean, we definitely have to do, you know, collaboration here in Delaware, in the spring and in the summer, next summer, to do all this stuff. I mean, because I know you guys haven't down south. I mean, here we have only a few ponds that I can go to catch, you know, sizable fish, but down there you have many more lakes and opportunities to catch.
You know, it's funny too. We're Delawareans, you and I, and we're doing a Delaware thing right now. I'd like to share with the YouTube world, which is that there's a giant divide in this tiny state of Delaware between the north and the south. There's a little canal that cuts across at the southern end of Newcastle County, and the people above the canal are considered the northerners, and down here we are the southerners, and lower Delaware, as they like to call it up there. So it's just, if you look at Delaware being a postage stamp on a map, you know, smaller than most states' counties are. But yet here we are talking about the north and the south like it's some giant country. I know that's just not familiar to outside of Delaware. I always just get a kick out of it.
Yeah, that's true. It's like, yeah, the Norton is just, you know, kind of more like city folk, and down south is kind of, you know, more country. So
yes,
and
we grow chicken and corn down here. So.
Yep. All right, guys. Anybody have any question to Jim while he is still on the panel? Because it looks like we didn't get any. I mean, it looks like, I mean, the thing is that you haven't been onto many streams and open up, you know. But I assume that I will get many more questions from the audience.
Yeah, and it's,
which is strange.
Like you said, the first time we've talked about some of the details of and I've wanted to grow an audience before we got into a lot of the background of who we are and how we got here. And that's one of the things, a big project we're going to do this year is telling that story. So the bigger community is going to have all the details there. So that's another one of the big projects we're doing this year. I got some big plans, and that's on the list.
All right, yeah, people having good time. I mean, I'm just glancing at the chat. People just messing with each other.
Yeah, that's always.
Well, it's a good thing. Yeah, I mean that's what we do it for people to come and mingle and meet and share their information and support each other.
You know, Yuri, we were talking about the Fall Bass Open and we organized that in our channel. We're gonna do that again. We're gonna do that in April. We're already starting to talk about how. Oh, look at that! And there, Fitz is asking, are we gonna do any more YouTube tourneys? Yep, that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna organize the same kind of thing and try to ramp it up this time. In the next month and a half, I'm gonna get all the details worked out there, and I want to get more channels involved on the creative side there. But same kind of concept, where anyone can enter any. That's what I love about doing the contest on YouTube is that, you know, there's a lot of guys that get into tournament fishing and stuff like that. Great, but there's also a lot of people that just fish in their backyard and don't get the chance to do that. So by making these tournaments, if you've got a smartphone and a fishing rod, you could win a tournament fishing against people all over the world. And I just think that's a cool concept. So we're going to keep it going. We're going to do that again. So stay in touch, and we'll have some more details on that before too long. And Peacock Pete has to defend his world championship title. Sorry, Pete. The belt's up for grabs.
So, but I mean, I know some other guys when they did this kind of competition on online on the internet, whatever. They were kind of separating different parts of the country because, yeah, I mean, in the south there's always big bass, huge bass, and up north, you know, people just catching things, so it's kind of unfair.
Right.
So I was wondering, you know, if there's anything, because yeah, Pete will be sitting in Florida. I mean, I saw his video today and he's like, oh, it's chilly right now, and he's in shorts and t-shirt. I mean, dude, come on, just shut up.
Yeah, we were hypothermic on Saturday out there trying to shoot a video, and 30 degrees and 30-mile-an-hour winds out in the middle of the water. So yeah, those Florida guys don't know how good they got it sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, we're trying to find ways where we can tweak it so that we have different prizes for different areas or different species, or bank fishing for boat fishing, that kind of thing. You know, we'll come up with a different way of doing it so we can have different opportunities for different people that are in different areas and different species, stuff like that. Still trying to work it all out. It's all like in here right now. Eventually we'll get it out there and organize it all.
Weekend Warrior Outdoors. He asked me, what's your favorite waterfall bird to hunt? I actually don't hunt. I mean, I do the target practice. I mean, I shoot targets, but I haven't hunted anything yet. So, and the Peacock Pete asking, he said, I thought Jim was coming to Florida.
Oh, so we're gonna do a spoiler now, are we, Pete?
Well, I heard about this.
Okay. I didn't know if that was getting out into the greater community yet.
Well, it's out there. I mean, at least, you know, rumors, and so something already out there. Yes, Pete, I would have to eat my heart out here.
We're talking.
He's laughing at me. He's laughing at us. You know, he's in February in shorts and t-shirt going fishing, and then he said, "Oh, it's cold and it's hard to find fish and it's tough." Really, dude?
Yeah, it's a different world down there. But yeah, we're gonna be down there. Wendy is big into Disney, and we have to make a trip to Disney, you know, once a year. Otherwise, she'll go crazy. So, Garrett and I are not particularly big on the whole being a Disney day in day out thing. So we're gonna take an opportunity while we're down there, get out and
Yeah,
fish.
but I've seen you've been there in the Disney World and all, and you didn't pass the opportunity to go and fish while you were down there. And the
Yeah.
video is actually showing that.
Yeah, that was the first attempt at fishing down there, and we loved it. You know, we fished with Luke Taylor, was our captain's name, and we've stayed in touch with him. We'll be talking to him again when we go down that way. What a blast! I mean, we fished in the waters right around the Disney properties, and we were catching monster bass. I mean, throwing flukes or shiners. You know, Garrett caught the big ones at the end on shiners, and it was just a blast. And we're like, we walked out of our hotel at Disney and hopped on a boat and went out and fished. I'm like, yep, I'm in. I like this. We're gonna do this again.
Oh, Jack Fishing showed up.
Yeah.
Hi, Jack. And I can't believe it, guys. Just look at those likes and dislikes. I'm become famous. I got my first dislike ever. I guess I become famous.
I'm gonna take credit for that one.
Oh, you did that?
No, I'll say it was a thumbs down at me, not you.
Nah. Well, I mean, all other ones, were fine, but usually they put it on the host. So I know, like, passion for hunting and fishing. When he gets that, I mean, he gets them. It's not the people that in the chat or people, in Google Hangouts. But anyhow, well, that's good. I got a first hater. Great.
Yeah, that's one of the things I've always been scared of. As we grow, I know there's going to be, some negative blowback on it, and I'm just worried about exposing Garrett to some of that. But at the same time, like, it comes with the territory. You get to a certain size, there's always going to be some negative blowback. So it is what it is.
I'm glad to feel alive. As soon as I mention that, there's another one. Way to go, guys. Way to go. Just keep it at that. All right, so I guess, when I was going to Florida and we're going with our son to Disney, I would sneak out to go scuba diving. But I don't do that anymore, so I don't know if ever I'll make to Florida. I probably will be looking for ways to fish there now.
Yeah, it's just a different world, and it's definitely worth exploring. I've told Pete that he is going to be tasked with putting us on our first peacock bass. So hopefully we're sharing that with y'all this year. We're going to get our first peacock bass live on YouTube.
Yeah, we can Warriors Outdoor says, yeah, they had some hate on the Twitter.
Yeah, I'm always nervous with the hunting videos, Justin. You just never know. There's people that go out actually watching for that stuff to give you negative feedback on it. So, yeah, I'm careful with the hunting stuff. I try to be tasteful with it and show respect for the animals. And even doing that, I know there's going to be people that are going to respond negatively. It just is what it is. Can't please everyone, but at the same time, you still want to tell your story and you do it justice. So, what can you do?
Yeah. Darren says, love scuba diving. Yeah, I loved it, but you have to go more often than not, and to keep certification and all. So I had my certification, but then it kind of lapsed and it kind of fall. I become old, and when I go in, because I have to go to tropics to dive. So
I saw Ben Rod Basson had a question up there too, asking what our favorite early spring bass bait is. I'll tell you what, the one I'm looking forward to more than anything, and shameless plug for Yank Your Crank here. Talking to Chris at Yank Your Crank, he said that some of the jointed glide bait type styles that he's painted up are great for bed fishing, like late pre-spawn or when they start to get on beds. And I'm gonna throw that zombie bait in the
Mhm.
spring. When those big girls start moving to the beds, I'm gonna take a crack at that. That's what I'm looking forward to the most is taking that jointed glide bait out there and see if we can get a big old spawning female bass on that.
Yeah, I mean, this is gonna be my first spring for bass, so I'll be trying all kinds of things. Yeah, I already kind of preloaded some jerk baits and jigs and all kinds of stuff. So I'll be trying to see, what they gonna like. So
Yeah,
this is my first time. I mean, I really wanted to catch the bass when I was watching the videos, on YouTube while I was here, and actually after I moved to Delaware, I was looking, guys down south, been catching some bass. And when I was looking, like, oh, that's a great, and it's a big chunks, I wanted to catch them, but and then yeah, the first time I went out in a nearby pond here, and I caught a couple of small ones, probably like, half a pounder, maybe a pounder. It was kind of okay, that's fine, but I mean, it's small fish, blah blah blah. But then when I got my kayak out in the water and start catching two pounders, 2.5, 3 pounder that I got, yeah, that kind of okay. I'm really getting into it. I really like that.
yeah, it gets you on the hook quick when you catch those big ones like that.
Yeah, and I didn't have much time, last season, so
Well,
I'm looking forward this spring.
find more ways that we can fish together. We're only an hour apart from each other, and this week we will have a boat that we're getting all rigged up for bass fishing and inshore saltwater stuff. That will make it easier for us to do some stuff together. You don't have to worry about toting the kayak around. After the debacle that Garrett and I had trying to paddle in the wind that day when we fished together, my lord, we were talking about getting kayaks at that point, and I was like, yeah, the way this went, we need to look at a different route. So yeah, we just took the plunge.
Yeah, but I mean, your solution back then should have been, if you would have the anchor, that's all you need. Because I would drop the anchor and I would stay in one place and I wouldn't move.
Oh yeah, and meanwhile I was getting blown all over the lake.
Exactly. I mean, and I know that because when I went out for the first times on my pond, and there was a wind, and it's like, okay, I cannot. I mean, I cast once and I had to pedal back. I cast once and I had to pedal back, and so, but the one that I had here, it's shallow, so I got this stakeout pole for that one at first, but then I got my 1.5 pound anchor, and that one held up pretty good in that wind. I mean, it's it would drag me a bit on the bottom, but then eventually it just will hook up on something, and so that was, I mean, that's all you needed. I mean, I feel you. That time it was like 15 miles an hour wind. I mean, it's been blowing you pretty quick, and especially with the bigger yak, and
Yeah, when we would try to do the tandem kayak or canoe for Garrett and I to fish together, I spent the whole time untangling lines or retying baits or trying to just bump the canoe around. And I'm like, wow, I'm not fishing. So we're going a little user friendly now that we're going to move to a boat where we have a little more freedom on. So we're excited about that. We'll have that going fairly soon here as the weather starts to turn. We'll be out rolling around on the water down here in Sussex County. We're going to get up towards Kent County and explore some stuff. We've talked to the 302 Bassin guys, uh, Thunder Dan as he used to be known, and we're going to get together and do some stuff. We'll have to just do a big Delaware Fishers collaboration or something like that.
yeah, I mean, I'm watching his videos. He goes. I mean, he even now just go catching some fish. I mean, the last video he uploaded yesterday, I believe.
Yeah.
They were slaying it there, and I was on Wyoming Pond on Sunday, and that thing, as soon as I got there, probably at noon, and I caught 2 pounder, but then the rest of the day it was dead when people were coming and going and just couldn't get
Right.
anything. So, but I mean, they were catching. Looks like at the same time they were catching fish on in Georgetown, he said.
Yeah, I'm not. I was trying to recognize the body of water, and I couldn't tell exactly where they were, but I'll get the details out of them.
Yeah, Shane. I'm fishing from cheaper Walmart $200 lifetime Tamarack 10-footer. So this is my first kayak. I just wanted to try it and to see how it goes. And now that I've tried, and I'm just thinking, yeah, it looks like I'm in trouble now because I want a bigger one like Hobby, Outback or something. But looking at the price, it's like, wow.
Yeah, but that's the what we went through, and I'm considering getting multiple kayaks when it comes to me and Garrett, or Wendy and Aubrey wanted to be involved. But I'm like, well, at this point, we might as well just buy a darn boat, and then we have all the options. So that's the route we went.
Yeah, I mean, if you go with a company, or at least two people, then yes, it makes sense, to get a boat. But in some places, I'll tell you that pond that I'm going to, usually, I mean, that's my to-go place. It's overgrown. I mean, you cannot use any propulsion there except, human propulsion. I mean, you cannot have any motors or anything because, I mean, you're gonna get all those weeds, the hydrilla on the prop. You won't be able to move.
Yeah, some of the places we fish down here in the summertime, the hydrilla is so bad you can barely get a line in the water. It's if you're not fishing weedless, you can't fish. The thickness of the hydrilla is pretty crazy.
Yeah. Hi, one cast one fish. Thank you for joining us. Glad to have you here. And Chris, Yank Your Crank, I got your bait today. He sent me the Peacock custom bait. I just wanted to say Peacock Pete for some reason.
It's funny, Adrian, True North Angler, just asked, have I ever flipped a kayak? So the first time that Garrett and I tried to put a kayak out this summer and fish together, as we were launching it, we're using a Mallard. It's like a hybrid canoe kayak. And I had him sit in the front, and I started to push off, and I didn't even have my second foot in the thing yet, and we flipped it. I'm like, this is gonna go great.
Yeah.
But honestly, after that, we didn't have any more issues. We got the thing launched that time, and we fished a number of times from kayaks and not had issues with flipping them. Even though we come close to taking water over the gunnel, but cross our fingers, so far so good. Especially when I'm carrying all the camera gear with me. I'm a little nervous about that.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't flipped the kayak, and you see my kayak is 10-footer. Once I cradle into it, I'm pretty much monolithic there. I cannot. I mean, I can move my legs just a bit, but yeah. I'm pretty much just sitting in there. I don't move. I can't stand up or anything in it. So it's pretty much done. So, but yeah, I haven't flipped because if I flip mine, of course, all these cameras and everything just goes to crap.
That 360 that you use is pretty darn slick. It definitely makes me think a little bit. If we're gonna invest in some new gear, that's one I would certainly look at.
Yeah, the thing is, the idea to use it, it came to me because like most cameras, GoPros, it's the point and shoot, right? So you have to catch the moment. You have to have camera rolling in certain directions so you'll get the moment. With 360, it's pretty much shoot now, point later, because you have all the 360, so you can actually twist and turn in post production any direction you want where the action actually is happening.
Yeah, and that's clutch, especially when Garrett and I are going to be fishing, front and back of a boat. We could just stick something up between us and catch all that action. That would make things a heck of a lot easier when it came down to making sure we had a camera on where we needed it, time we needed it.
Yeah.
And Pete's asking about the upload time on that thing.
Yeah. That thing, the camera is in 5.7K. So the files are huge, and of course, you know, for every footage you get 2 files because it's 360. And just to copy them from SD card, it takes hours, and then you would have to process it because it takes an extra step because it comes in its own proprietary format, and you have to actually convert it in MP4 before you actually bring it to whatever the editing software that you want to use. Right. And yeah, there's that extra step, and that extra step usually, you know, if files are big, I usually, you know, select what files I'm going to be using in the video and just sift out all the stuff that, you know, has no action or I don't need it. And then whatever left, I just said, you know, batch convert in the evening, and I go to bed. And by the morning it's done. So, and then it's ready to import into the editing software.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed with what you get off that thing. It's
okay, cool. Trolls are coming, and they all hitting dislikes. That's great. Yes.
Any interaction is good interaction, right? John at JNC taught me that this summer.
Well, at least, you know, at least they're paying attention, because if I would be, you know, completely nobody, they wouldn't even bother, right?
Yeah, John actually did a video this summer that they called the thumbs down. They wanted everyone to just come in and thumbs down the video to see how it ranked in their videos. It was just a funny concept, just to see how that interaction ranked in their videos and stuff.
All right, but that is not gonna move me. that actually, you know, says that this guy's paying attention to what's going on here.
Exactly.
So that's great. Keep on going, guys. Whoever you are. All right. So that was actually really interesting conversation. I mean, I actually got a lot more cleared out for myself, because, you know, all these questions about this around the world thing, and, you know, this and that, and other people kind of will be, I guess, would be interesting to know all that stuff. But I mean, it was interesting for me to get all that information, so I'm happy.
Good, I didn't disappoint.
Yeah, that was great. That was great. I mean, I really love it.
And John, JNC, I'm gonna catch up afterwards. I don't have anything I can grab right now. I'll get my shot when I get off camera.
All right, guys, so let's see. I mean, we have some people here. Let's look and see if we can raid anybody here. Who needs help? Who do we have here?
Let's see, I'll bring it. Who's live?
We have Gmoneystrong Outdoors. We have
the Cab 7's live, but he doesn't help.
So who else?
Bobby McNutt is live. I love his stream. He's a good friend.
Oh, Bobby McNutt. Yep, he's live. So let's just raid Bobby McNutt, guys. Do you want to go there? Do you want to go do it?
I'm gonna see if I.
Yankee Crank, did you come out with the new version of the 369? What does that mean? I've got tons of thumbs down. Yep, Pete says, I've got tons of thumbs down. I embrace them. Made love, guys. Of course you're gonna get, Pete, you know, all those thumbs down. First of all, I'm giving it to you. Why? Because you're just rubbing in our faces that you can fish there in the winter, and we're just sitting here when our ponds skim frozen, so we cannot go on the ice and we cannot throw the lure in. All right, guys, so let's just hit Bobby McNutt and let's do Fishy Angler raid. All right, guys, and I'll see you next Tuesday, 8 p.m. And our next guest is Darren's Norton Live. All right, guys?
Sweet, Darren.
Yep. All right, guys. So let's hit Bobby McNutt. Fishy Angler Raid. Let's go.
Appreciate it. This has been fun.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Jim. I'm really appreciate. It was great interview. It was interesting to me.
Cool.
Last time when we met, we didn't even have time to talk. So we just jumped in the kayaks and just went. So
We had work to do. Oh, by the way, I forgot. I'm wearing my my Josh Green Outdoors or Josh Green Adventures sweatshirt here. Give my boy Josh Green a shout out there. What up, Green Beans?
I haven't seen him here. He didn't show up. What a bummer.
He's been on his gaming channel quite a bit.
He's playing, huh? All right, guys. Thank you very much for stopping by. I really appreciate that you all come over and supporting my channel and listen us blubbering here. But I really appreciate Jim. It was really, really good conversation. All right, guys. See you next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Good night. And let's hit Bobby McNutt, Fishy Angler Raid. Let's go.
Alrighty.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.